Hi everyone, welcome back to Earl Grey Books. I'm Ellie and today I'm here to share the next bingo board for Read My Kindle for May and June, as well as wrap up my own reading for March and April. So this is a little reading challenge that I created, and there's a bingo board for every 2 months, and the purpose is to just read things off your Kindle, whether that be an actual Kindle or just ebooks on whatever kind of device you read them on, or audiobooks, basically anything that isn't a physical book. I have not been great at hosting this. Apologies to everyone who is joining along. These first 4 months have just been much busier than I was anticipating. Things are sort of supposed to slow down now as of sort of early to mid-June, so I'm hoping that I'll be able to do some more fun things with this, and I'm still thankful for all of you who have decided to join in. As with the video I did for January and February, I will be talking about my wrap up first and then sharing the new bingo board, and they will be timestamped below if you are just here for the bingo board. But let's jump into how I did. Honestly, this wasn't as bad as I was expecting, because I don't know, like a week and a half ago, I was like, oh God, I haven't done anything for this. And then I did read a couple in the last few days and realized that I had a couple other things that did mark off. So I ended up marking off 6. We're going to go through them in the order that the prompts were. So number 1, the first prompt was actually for Wren from the Reading Wren, and that was monsters. So this was specifically for Wren for Monster Smart, as well as a couple other people, but you could use it any way that you liked. I ended up going with some smart, and I'm going with Blood Moon by Gillian Graves, which technically isn't monsters. It is a witch and a vampire, but I would consider vampires somewhat monstrous. You know, it's not like they are they're a paranormal creature. This one was, nice and horny, but they can be terrifying. So that is my pick for this one. I really enjoyed this. This is just a little novella. It was fun. Like I said, it was smutty, and I enjoyed it. Next one was TBR game. So on the Last to Read book club Ko-Fi, every month we play a version of Mel's TBR campaign for our top tier members, our lovely cows. And I think it was for April, or maybe it was March, I don't remember, but one of the books that I picked was In Which Margot Halifax Earns Her Shocking Reputation by Alexandria Vasti. This is another short, smutty novella. This is historical romance. This was honestly great. I had such a great time reading this one. It was fun, and it was only 90 pages, so it was really quick to read. And I haven't been reading a lot of historical romance this year. I've kind of stepped away from the genre quite a bit, but every now and again it's books like this that remind me why I enjoy them. And I ended up reading this one and Blood Moon on the same day, so it was just a fantastically smutty day. Next was red and orange on the cover to celebrate the fact that it is autumn here. And for this one, I went with In the Ravenous Dark by A.M. Strickland. I'm not going to talk about this one too much because it's part of I'll let my friends pick my TBR for April. That video is coming. That's a whole thing. We'll talk about it when it's here. But this is one of the books that Amy picked for me, so I'm not going to talk about it until that vlog is up. So I missed TBR Veteran, and I also didn't have anything to mark off this free space because everything that I read kind of fit into one of the prompts, so I missed those two. But then the next one was Borrowed. I read A Most Novel Revenge by Ashley Weaver, which is the third book. Yeah, it is. In the Amory Amos, I think it's the Amory Amos series, but it's also sometimes listed as the Amory Amos mystery series. These are like a fun, cozy historical mystery. This one was good. This one was a little different from... So I really loved book one, and then I was less fussed on book two. And this third book was a little bit more in line with that first one, so I ended up enjoying it again quite a lot. And I'm eagerly awaiting my copy of the fourth book to come into my ebook library. Next one was set outside the US or UK, and this was so that I could pay homage to my favorite readathon of all time, Eurovisionathon, which is going on right now. You may have just seen my first vlog for it. I wanted a way to support Helen, as well as, you know, personally joining in with it, and to direct a couple of people her way and towards the readathon if you hadn't heard of it before, because Helen is the loveliest person I've ever met in the entire world, and it's a fantastic readathon, and I just want everyone to do it, and I want everyone to love Helen. So that being said, for this one I ended up marking off The Woman Who Borrowed Memories by Tove Jansson, which I talked about again in my vlog, which I'll link below. This was my book for Finland. This was short stories. I didn't love this. I think in all I liked about 3 or 4 of the stories. I really liked the title story. That was actually a really cool one. But some of the others were just kind of meh. This was my first ever book from Tove Jansson, who was the creator of the Moomins. I've never read any of those, so this was my first time reading her. I think she's a fascinating figure. I would really like to know more about her, so I'm kind of keeping in mind that I might try and find a biography about her for next year. So we'll see how we go with that. Next one was Favorite Trope, which I also didn't mark off. And finally, the last one was Out of Your Comfort Zone. I went with That Hair by Deja Miller Pereira de Almeida, which was another book for Eurovisionathon. This was my book for Portugal, and it is literary fiction, which is not a genre that I tend to enjoy. And I didn't enjoy this one. This had such good potential, and it had some beautiful writing, but it just didn't come together that well, so I didn't end up enjoying it. That's it. Those are the ones that I read for March and April, and now we're going to go into the little bingo board for May and June. This is how it looks. Let's go through the prompts. Kept it kind of simple this month, in terms of didn't go too fancy with anything. The first box here is LGBTQIA plus rep. It is Pride Month in the US. Even though different countries celebrate Pride in different months, I feel like this is the one that people usually think of June as Pride Month. So that's the first one. Second one, I have to give a huge shout out to Mel from A Book Fiend named Mel, who helped me with this one, and that was something with a mythical creature on the cover. I put a little dragon here, but it could be anything that's like mythical-ish. Next one is bought on sale / free, so anything that you bought on sale, like a Kindle daily deal sort of thing, or anything that you got for free. I feel like for me these books often get left to the wayside because I forget that I have gotten them. Not that I remember any of the things I paid full price for either, but yeah, I definitely feel like these will sometimes, I'll just get it because it's free, and then it goes into the vast abyss that is my Kindle. Next one is under 2,000 ratings, pretty self-explanatory. So with that one, have a look on Goodreads or Amazon or really Storygraph, maybe, I don't know, and pick something that has less than 2,000 ratings. Next one is, of course, a free space because we gotta have it. Next is favorite color. So this one again is a cover one. Find something that has your favorite color on the cover. It doesn't have to be the entire cover. For example, my favorite color is yellow at the moment. So I know that, you know, books with yellow colors can be kind of hard to find. Even then, finding something that I will enjoy that has that on the cover can be hard. So it can be just the font, it could be just a little bit of that color. I guess it really depends on what your favorite color is. Next is finish something you have already started. I feel like usually about this midway point of the year, I tend to look at the things that I have started but not finished and try to kind of mark a few of them off so that I'm kind of going into the second half of the year with less. I also do the same thing sort of come end of November, start of December. But I thought halfway through, starting to look at those reading goals again, it's a good time to pick up something that you've started and that you need a little bit of a push to finish. But you could also do something that you started at the end of April and just ran out of time for, however you want to spin that. Next one is cozy read. Going with this one because it is coming into winter here and I want to sit on the couch with my Kindle book and a blanket and a cat, maybe two of them, and I want to be cozy. So this could be, you could go for a cozy fantasy, a cozy mystery, or you could literally just pick something completely random and spend a cozy night reading it, or a cozy day. As I say every time, I have no way of checking this. So these are kind of open to your interpretation. If this book about murder makes you feel cozy, I'm happy for you. And then final one is middle grade. I know that there is middle grade in May. I saw someone talking about and a couple of other things, but I honestly just thought it would be nice to read a middle grade. I think this one was also suggested by Mel. I always love a good middle grade. I feel like middle grades are also very cozy reads, so I'm happy for that going into winter. I want all of the cozy things. So that is the board for this time around. I hope you all enjoy the prompts and that you have a couple of books you might already be thinking of. I don't really have a plan going into this one so far. I don't really have anything that I've kind of flagged in my mind of like, oh, that'll fit that one, but I think I'll spend some time doing that over the next few days and maybe try and go for a bingo this time. We'll see how we go with that. But that's all for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Bye.